So, Thomas, you started your journey in the National Football League with the New Orleans Saints. In 2009, the Saints made a decision. We need a kicker. They moved up to the fifth round, into the fifth round, to select you. Were you like surprised that they moved up, or you just was like, whatever, I just want an opportunity and a chance?
Number one, I guess I'll answer the second question. I wanted the opportunity and the chance. I wasn't surprised at all. My agent the day before the draft had called me and he said he thought the Saints or the Colts would be drafting me in the fourth or fifth round. And sure enough, in the fifth round, I got drafted by the Saints. And then a few rounds later, Pat McAfee was drafted by the Colts. So yeah, I wasn't surprised at all.
So you played with the Saints for 12 years. You was part of the greatest play, not only in New Orleans history, the Saints history, but also, in my opinion, the Super Bowl history, the greatest play. You guys made a decision that you were going to have a surprise onside kick to start the second half in Super Bowl 44. Take a look at this.
Colts, they like to defer just so they don't have to face this situation where Peyton Manning gets the football in the second half after he's gone in and looked at all those pictures you see him looking at every time he comes off the field.
Onside kick to start the second half, and the ball bounces off the hands of the Colt, and it looks like the Saints had it for a second. And it's Saints football. They recover the onside kick. What a fearless start to the second half.
Really unbelievable decision by Sean Payton.
Yeah, I remember watching that like it was yesterday, man. It was one of the ballsiest plays in Super Bowl history. But take us back. What do you remember from that and like just talking, going out and delivering that?
I remember being pretty terrified in the locker room. We had said we were going to run fakes that season, and we never did because we were always winning. We were 13-0 to start that season off, and I don't know. Coach said we were going to run it. It wasn't a matter of if we were going to run it. It was just when. And I just didn't, deep down, I didn't believe him. And then he called it at the start of halftime. And that halftime at the Super Bowl is like 35 minutes long. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of pissed at him for telling me so early because I was just a nervous wreck. And I've never had a panic attack, I don't think, but that was as close to one as I've ever had, I think. And anyways, look, it was I had time to kind of process it, and I was pretty negative at first about it, thinking about all the people watching and if I screw up. And, I kind of just let all that stuff flush out. And I used to keep this picture in my locker of Frank Gans Sr., an old special teams coach that was my coach my senior year in college. And he used to say the more aggressive team normally wins. And I thought, well, this is pretty damn aggressive. And then I thought about all the times Coach Payton called me up out of the blue in practice. It was never scripted. You know how they have the normal script at practice where everything's planned out. Mm-hmm. He would just blow the whistle and say, onside kick team up. And we ran it. And every time I did it well. And by the time I went out to the field, I was, in a pretty good place with it. I was still incredibly nervous and anxious to do it. But I was confident that we'd spent the right amount of time practicing it, and that I had, I knew that if we got it, it would spur us along. And the whole season kind of felt like a season of fate. Like we felt like we were destined to win. And as soon as we recovered that, I think we all knew we were winning the game. Mm-hmm, and I'm very, very grateful to have been a part of that, and for Coach to have put that confidence in a 23-year-old rookie that had never kicked off prior to that season. On the biggest stage, it took some major balls to roll the dice like that. But, honestly, it was a good bet at the time. The surprise onside kick with the old kickoff rules was about a 2 out of 3 get on a surprise. So it was worth the risk, and glad we did it.
The great thing about the surprise onside kick is many people don't know what to look for, right? They just don't know what to look for. But your approach to the football was normal. You approached it because most of the time guys approach it, it's like, oh, yeah, you're getting ready to kick it onside. But all your steps were the same. Everything right up until you got to the ball. You normally don't see that. How were you able to keep that composure and manage that?
Well, that was the whole deal to it, right? I mean, so there were two parts to that. Number one, we wanted to do a fake punt, and we just couldn't find anything. They were super conservative on their punt return team. And so then we started looking at ways to do an onside kick. And the thing that was easy to game plan for us is I put the ball on the right hash and kicked it to the deep right corner as I looked at it the whole season. and so that puts the most stress on that left side front line player because they're almost out leveraged by the guy they normally have to block. So sometimes that guy will leave early or cheat a little bit. And so that was the deal, was like, let's see if I can take my same steps, look everything exactly the same, make everything look exactly the same, and then just turn on it at the last second. And so, yeah, we definitely had to, that was the best option we had to try to gain a possession, and we felt like we needed to gain one against Peyton and the Colts.
Yeah, Thomas, if that Super Bowl is played today, it wouldn't even be possible, that onside kick. The new kicking off rules means no more surprise onside kicks. How are you feeling about the change coming this season?
Look, time will tell if it's a good rule change. Look, there's going to be a lot more action on kickoff, which I think is great. They're trying to get the touchbacks out, and they're also trying to balance that with player safety. So it kind of looks like the XFL way of doing things. So I think there's going to be some benefits to a lot of guys that will get a lot more playing time, and special teams will, probably carry a little more value as far as rosters go. So, but the proof will be in the pudding. We'll see. I don't love the idea that there's no way to surprise attack a team. As far as gaining a possession, I don't think that's good. But, it is what it is. I wish the players had a little more say so in creating some of these rules. We have a seat at the competition committee, but there's 13 of them and one of us. So we really don't have a say in anything, which is unfortunate. But, it is what it is. And I do think there's a chance that the kickoff will be a much more exciting play this year, which is good for the game.
We absolutely hope you enjoyed this video. If you want more from us, hit that subscribe button for all videos, full episodes, and exclusive content from the show. And don't forget to find All Facts, No Breaks on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.